And welcome back to Reporter's File, everyone. My name is Saeed Puriza. First off, a sneak peek of this week's reports.
A national cleaning campaign in India. How more and more Australians are sinking under the poverty line. Israel's illegal actions and the Palestinian local economy. And Italian women targets of fatal domestic violence.
In a bid to change India's global image, the country's Prime Minister has kicked off the Swachh Bharat, or the Clean India campaign. It aims to attain clean surroundings by taking measures such as prohibiting public defecation, a common practice in India, by 2019. Shahana Butt reports on the challenges facing the Indian government when implementing its plan.
India is home to more than 1.2 billion people of the world. Besides its development boom and diversity, it is known all across the world for its unclean surroundings and pollution. Despite country's efforts to imbibe trends of clean habitat, the country has hardly made any progress. However, renewed efforts are taken by the country's newly elected Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Modi has kick-started a campaign across the country to facelift India's image. The campaign aims to clean India by October 2nd, 2019. The main aim of the campaign is to eliminate open defecation, which Indian Prime Minister calls a blot on society, especially for women and young girls.
Thank PM Modi for the fact that, you have talked about waste. Thank you for that. But then my concern is, how are you going about it? Is it only a media thing? Is it only a campaign that is going on? Or do you have some strategy paper to it? Do you have some defined finances allocated to it? Or do you endorse certain technologies or certain, aspects? Or do you have a position to, this is how I'm going to deal with my waste? That is somewhere which I think is missing.
These days, early morning, groups of men wearing colored uniform, carrying brooms are seen across the Indian capital, cleaning the streets, housing colonies, public parks and other spaces. These are the men who have taken the responsibility of cleaning India. Rajkumar heads a group of young men for the past 3 months. He works for BVJ, a private cleaning company working in collaboration with Clean India campaign across the country.
We have been assigned a particular area of the capital, New Delhi. Each day we work in morning and evening shifts, and on weekends we work for the entire day.
Mostly young men are seen taking part in this campaign not solely because they want to see India clean, but due to lack of work opportunities, they are forced to earn livelihood this way.
I am from Uttar Pradesh. I came here in search of job. I ended up here in a cleaning company. I am earning some $150 a month and also serving the country. But I have realized it is a difficult task. We need more men and women to join.
Although the passerbys notice these men working, hardly they receive appreciation or attention.
The problem that we face is lack of awareness among people. There are people who litter on roads and public places in front of us, and if we tell them to use dustbins and keep surrounding clean, they usually grab our collars. So what the country needs to do is to start educating people about the cleanliness.
Majority of Indians have appreciated government and private companies for cleaning India, but they firmly believe more than Clean India campaign, there is a requirement of Awareness India campaign.
India has a huge chunk of uneducated population, and the bigger challenge is not its urban but rural population. Analysts say India must start a rigorous cleanliness drive right from school education.
The complete solution lies in the fact that, you segregate your waste first. You don't mix your biomedical waste and the kitchen waste and the plastic waste. People don't know how to segregate it. Which thing to put where. That sense of, segregation needs to be developed.
Despite launched with much fanfare, experts worry this program does not go far enough in addressing the real challenges of the country.
It's not that they were actually not there, they were there. But this government, they are telling that no, not 2022, by 2019 we'll make whole of India very clean. It's just a wait and see, because all these things were already there. It was like, old wine served in a new bottle.
Reports say because of open defecation, thousands of babies die and stunts the growth of children and of workforce in India.
Environmentally, it's not good that you go for open defecation, then you have so many diseases because it's not clean. Like children are affected by all these gastrointestinal problems, and there are so many deaths because of open defecation, because it's not that children are only dying because of malnutrition, because it's the lack of sanitation which are also killing the children of this South Asia.
Pollution of all sorts in India is the cause of epidemic of diseases and deaths. With such a huge and diverse population to cater, it not only is difficult but almost impossible to complete the mission in a minuscule time. Thus, the government has announced to take 5 years' term to accomplish the task.
For majority of Indians, Clean India campaign is a misunderstood drive just to keep roads and public places clean. And in this process, people have forgotten their share of responsibility, and they are least bothered about their surroundings and neighborhood and are hell-bent upon the change. And this is where the Indian government needs to focus if it actually wants to progress. For Reporters File, Shahana Bhatt in New Delhi.
Unemployment, poverty, and low standards of living are things we're so used to associating poor and developing countries with. But new figures show that in one of the world's largest and richest countries, a large portion of the population lives under the poverty line. From Sydney, Rem Sacker reports.
Sydney, Australia's most populous city, is home to over 4.5 million people. The business and financial capital of Australia has always been an attractive destination for economic migrants from all over the world. But according to a newly released report, 1 in 7 Aussies are living under the poverty line.
Figures released by the Australian Council of Social Service suggest that poverty is on the rise. And as a result, the city's public parks and train stations are becoming home to a growing community of people. There are over 105,000 people who are homeless in Australia. That is 1 in every 200. But one organisation that we caught up with say that they want to make a difference.
The Australian Muslim Youth, or more commonly known as AMY, are a group of 18 to 26-year-old university students who for 2 nights each week leave their textbooks and venture out into the city to feed those who are less fortunate. They say it's their way of giving back, whilst upholding their religious obligation of what they call zakat, meaning charity. "19-year-old Dina is one of the team leaders at AMY, a student of international relations at the University of Western Sydney and an ardent Manchester United fan. But tonight she's helping in the kitchen. AMY members make hundreds of food packs every week for Sydney's homeless.
Why did I volunteer for the worst part of the job?
The girls prepare all of the food themselves, and although the boys are also part of the group, they seem to be under a permanent ban from the kitchen.
The boys actually volunteer to help us with making the food, but we just don't trust them. So we're just like, we're going to keep the chicks to do it, because we've got a good nature for food. I don't know how you could royally screw up a sandwich.
It's Monday night and almost time to leave. The team divide the food between 3 different groups so they can go to separate locations around the CBD. While some work harder than others, they manage to stay on schedule and leave on time. But before they board the bus, they gather for a brief meeting.
So a lot of familiar faces, you guys all pretty much know the drill. We get in our bus, situate at Green Park, and then we get into our teams. Hopefully we'll tell you guys your teams once we reach Green Park, inshallah. Keep it as, you know, cash and cool as possible. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Guys, whoever's going to Central, please get off the bus when we get to Central. We'll help you take down the water and food. Whoever's going to Wentworth Park, please stay on the bus so we can continue to go there.
Building and spreading awareness about homeless people in Australia is what AMI members want to do, but they're also aware of the stigma they face in today's society and are keen to change that.
A lot of people are kind of shocked that, you know, oh, okay, they're Muslims and they're doing such a great deed. They're not very used to it considering what you hear all over the media. But then you have the people that they obviously accept our offer and our help, and then they comment on the fact that, you know, we know you're not all the same. We know we shouldn't generalise and stereotype a whole faith based on a bunch of people. So I guess on some degree it is because of, I guess, the way we're dressed. You know, a lot of, you know, our female members, they wear the headscarves, and we refrain from shaking hands of the opposite gender. But it really doesn't faze us because it's 1 out of every, I guess, like 100 or so.
Poverty, unemployment and a critical shortage of affordable housing are known causes of homelessness, which can also be triggered by family breakdowns, mental illness, sexual assault, addiction or social isolation. But the single biggest cause of homelessness in Australia is domestic violence. Sonia is a young woman from Melbourne, but moved to Sydney recently after escaping a violent relationship. She has now found good company and support in Sydney's homeless community.
I think sleeping out is like camping to me.
Oh, so it's like an adventure.
Yeah.
We'll be here next week, Monday and Wednesday around this time.
Okay, great.
And more food and more chatting.
Stay safe, have a good night, stay warm.
AMI members say they've built friendships with the people they see every week.